In this video, we'll do the course mechanics, give you an idea of what to expect for Biology 212 in winter of 2017. First thing I'd like to ask is that when you come to class, have your clickers ready. I start every class with at least one, usually a couple, of clickers. Second, I need to tell you that labs do begin this week. Please check out the pre-lab, either in your course packet, which you can buy at the library, or on the Canvas website. So all of the pre-labs and the labs are already present there. I ask you to buy the packet because so many people forget to print out labs in time. So having those labs, having those homeworks already in a physical form improves the running of the class. You've got to go to the lab that you're registered for. Come to us, negotiate with us if you want to change labs, but don't do it in this first week. Just go to the lab you need to be in so that we know you want to be in the course. It is possible a bit later on that we can negotiate a change in your lab time, provided that there's somebody in the lab that you want to go to who wants to trade with you. It's very likely in the first lab there'll be a quiz. And to get ready for the quiz, what you have to do is look over the pre-lab before you get to lab. So before labs, you ought to read the pre-lab and skim the lab itself. The third thing I'd like to talk about is the exam conflict policy for Biology 212. We will be as flexible as we can, but I do not make up alternative times for taking tests. Not quizzes, not exams, and definitely not the final exam. If you're traveling with some university-approved group, of course you can take the exam on the road. If you have some sort of family emergency, come talk to me about it, and we'll make different arrangements, but those arrangements won't include a different time to take that exam. Sometimes I'll excuse you from an exam, but I won't reschedule it. Remember that final Friday of final exam weeks is when we have to take our final exam. So if you don't plan on being here right to the end of that week, maybe you should consider taking the course in the spring. Biology 212 is not a prerequisite for Biology 213. Okay, there are videos, obviously. Typically, they're optional, so you'd be crazy not to watch the videos, but they are not really required. If you can do the work without watching the videos, then that's fine. What is required are self-tests. Self-tests show up on Canvas after every lecture and must be done before the next lecture. Videos really help with self-tests often, and your lecture notes and the lecture notes that I post after class will all also help you with these self-tests. Okay. By Wednesday, you should have looked at the enzyme videos. Class is so much easier if you look at the videos before showing up. Clicker questions you can basically have answered by the time you get to class. Can't get away with not talking about grades in the first lecture. You get graded on worksheets that you finish during the labs most weeks. That's 5% of your grade. You get graded on quizzes that you take during labs. I'll skip down here and tell you that you will be doing a project, basically this whole second half of the course, in which you will be carrying out an experiment whose basic design was your idea. You'll be testing some mechanism that you have come up with to change blood pressure in humans or transpiration in plants. You'll think this up, you'll write a proposal, you will write a paper, you will give a presentation. Before, of course, you can write your paper or presentation, you have to carry out the experiment. This requires an enormous amount of effort by your lab instructor and your biology undergraduate lab assistants and Holly, our amazing lab preparator. This is a very open-ended project, and I think it's one of the highlights of the class. Okay. Every day in lecture, there will be clicker questions. And every day after lecture, there will be a self-test. Some days in lecture, there'll be class activities, including things like worksheets. These, in combination, add up to 10% of the grade. Another 10% of the grade comes from homework assignments. Now, you can look ahead and see what questions you're going to be asked in homework assignments anytime you want. They're already there in the course packet or on the website in PDF version. Now, just before these things are due, typically very early on the Mondays that they're due Wednesday at 5 o'clock, each one of them. Each one of these homework is worth 2.5 points. You can use tutors, you can use graduate students, you can use me, you can use the videos, you can use whatever you want to get these homework assignments done. This homework is not something you can do at the last minute. Please start, as soon as the previous homework is completed, please start on the next homework. They take some time. Exams include midterms on weeks, 5 and 9, worth 12.5% of your grade each. Quizzes, 3 and 7, and those are worth 5% each. And then a final exam, which is worth a whopping 25% of your grade, and which is on that final Friday of final exam week, and it is cumulative final.